Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, and here I am again to talk with you and share good things with you. And I want to get back to our story, the story Julian tells. And a big part of the story is lemons, and we know that in the story. I'm going to put this down over here. In our story, we've been reading. Julian's dad made pudding. He made some pudding, and he made puddings out of lemons. And the lemon pudding apparently was really good. The two boys, Huey and Julian, didn't listen to their father. They didn't heed his warning about to leave the pudding alone, and they ended up getting into the pudding and tasting the pudding. Remember, they were hiding under the bed, and their father came, and his voice was black like lightning, and he grabbed them, and one of the last things he said to them is these two words. Let's see what these words are. Beating and whipping. Beating and whipping. And I asked you guys to do some work in your journal. Remember? I asked you to tell me what happens when Julian's dad goes to sleep. I kind of just told you that. And I also asked you to predict. One of the skills that a reader has, a good reader, is they are always thinking about what's happening in the story, making pictures in their mind, visualizing, and it leads them to think, this is what's going to happen next. So I asked you guys to do that skill. I asked you guys to predict, what do you think will happen? So now I haven't heard from everybody, so I am not going to read to you what happens until I get some things from some ideas from you. So I want you to share with me what you think happened or will happen in the story. And I'm going to get back to you later, probably tomorrow, and share the rest of the story. I'm just going to read that last part of our story from the chapter, The Pudding Like a Night on the Sea. Julian's dad said, "Why were you hiding under the bed?" We didn't say anything. We looked at the floor. "I can tell you one thing," he said. "There's going to be some beating here now. There's going to be some whipping. So make sure your parents send me a picture, an image of what you wrote in your journal about what happened. I'm going to look for a few of those. I'm going to try to contact you guys today. If you want to talk to me, you know how to get a hold of me. In the meantime, you're not going to be devoid of literature. So I'm going to share a book with you today. It's one of my favorites, and we're going to use this book throughout our time. Hi, everyone. So this is a very old book. It's called The Important Book, and it's by Margaret Wise Brown. The pictures are by Leonard Weisgard. And here is a picture of the book. The Important Book. What do you see on the cover? This, you see an apple? Where's my finger? You see an apple? Maybe this is a church in the country. Kind of looks like a church I used to go to. This is a glass of water, a butterfly. What's this? That's a window shade. Maybe this is somebody's ledge looking out their window. The Important Book. As I read today, I want you guys to listen for patterns that you might be noticing in the material in the book. And this is actually a book that has a collection of poems in it. So I'm going to read it to you. Let's try to share the pictures at the same time. The important thing about a spoon is that you eat with it. It's like a little shovel. You hold it in your hand. You can put it in your mouth. It isn't flat. It's hollow. And it spoons things up. But the important thing about a spoon is that you eat with it. The important thing about a daisy is that it is white. It is yellow in the middle. It has long white petals and bees sit on it. It has a ticklish smell. It grows in green fields and there are always lots of daisies. But the important thing about a daisy is that it is white. Pretty soon we'll probably be seeing daisies. Springtime, summer. The important thing about rain is that it is wet. It's raining today. It falls out of the sky and it sounds like rain and makes things shiny, and it does not taste like anything and is the color of air. But the important thing about rain is that it is wet. What did this person say the important thing about rain was? Right, that it is wet. The next subject of the poem is grass. What do you think the important thing about grass is? Let's find out about this person's idea. The important thing about grass is that it is green. It grows and is tender. Tender is kind of like soft and bendy. It grows and it is tender with a sweet grassy smell. But the important thing about grass is that it is green. So we had a poem about the important thing about a spoon. And they said that you can eat with it. The important thing about a daisy is that it is white. And there was more ideas, but the important thing is that it's white. The important thing about rain is that it is wet. And the important thing about grass is that it is green. Snow is the next one. The important thing about snow is that it is white. It is cold and light, and it falls softly out of the sky. It is bright, in the shape of tiny stars and crystals. It is always cold, and it melts. But the important thing about the snow is that it is white. The next topic is an apple. What's the important thing about an apple to you? The important thing about an apple is that it is round. It is red, you bite it, and it is white inside, and the juice splashes in your face. And it tastes like an apple, and it falls off of a tree. But the important thing about an apple is that it is round. I'm wondering, have you guys noticed any sort of pattern to the way these poems are written? I'm going to pick one more. Maybe I'll just choose this one and then I'll share some more and then further reading. This one is about wind. What's the important thing about wind? What does wind do? It moves around, it blows the leaves, we can feel it on our face. It's moving, it's weather, lots of things. But what's the important thing according to this person? The important thing about the wind is that it blows. You can't see it, but you can feel it on your cheek and see it bend trees and blow hats away in sailboats. But the important thing about the wind is that it blows. The important thing about the sky is that it is always there. It is true that it is blue and high and full of clouds and made of air, but the important thing about the sky is that it is always there. That is true. It is always there. There's only two more poems left. What is the important thing about a shoe? The important thing about a shoe is that you put your foot in it. You walk in it and you take it off at night and it's warm when you take it off. But the important thing about a shoe is that you put your foot in it. True. You. The important thing about you. The important thing about you is that you are you. It is true that you were a baby and you grew, and now you are a child, and you will grow into a man or into a woman. But the important thing about you is that you are you. The Important Book by Margaret Wise Brown. Why did I choose to share this today? Well, I thought we could just take a look at another piece of literature and do some work with that. I think we can do a lot of things, but I want you guys today in your response journals to kind of talk to me about this story. What was the story called again? It was called The Important Book. And I want you guys to maybe just tell me what you understood about the poems that were in this book. Did you notice anything? And then I want you to think about this lemon. And what would you say the important thing about a lemon is? And jot down some ideas. And we're going to come back to this and we're going to do some more work with a book and we're going to talk about ways that we can maybe write some of our own poetry because those are all different types of poems with an idea to help us think about the important things about that item. So, what's the important thing about a lemon? I'm interested to know what you guys think. So don't forget, I'm looking to see what your predictions are, what happened in the story. I want you talking to me about this new book, The Important Book, and what kind of patterns you noticed. And maybe draw a picture of a lemon in your journal and write down some ideas, maybe some thoughts or phrases that you have about what's the important thing about a lemon. And we'll get back to this later. I also want to remind you guys that you should be skip counting in your skip counting booklets and practicing. How many of you are practicing your multiples at home? Who can count by 6? Who can count by 8? Who can count by 4? All right, and I will come back to you later. We will do some more work with that, and I hope you have a great day, and you should see another video from me today. So don't forget to check in, and I will see you all soon. I love you all, and I miss you. Bye.